Saira Blair is not your ordinary teenager. It's impressive enough that she graduated summa cum laude from her high school. And by the way, she also could become the youngest person ever to serve in West Virginia's legislature. At the ripe old age of 17, Saira defeated a 3-term delegate in the Republican primary.
Take me back into your childhood, Saira, and tell me a little bit about where all of these ideas of maybe getting into politics or something like this kind of originated.
I really started to get involved at about age 6 when my father was first elected. From there, I started attending the meetings and going to the dinners, but I never saw it as something that I particularly wanted to become involved in until my junior year of high school when I attended a program called Youth in Government.
From that point, Saira realized that despite her age, she didn't have to wait to serve.
I realized that I'm able to use this opportunity to show other young people that we don't need to wait until we're 30, 40, or 50 to understand conservative principles, and that, you know, we don't have to keep moving forward in the direction that millennials are expected to go.
So Saira got to work, first by reaching out to voters with close to 1,000 handwritten letters. Her friends helped out with signs and phone calls, and this all comes very naturally to Saira. Her dad, Craig Blair, is a state senator.
So with your dad, so he was surprised by what happened there?
When I told him that I was interested in running, he was completely surprised. He had no idea. He was shocked. He didn't understand that I had been, you know, I guess listening in, and he'd been mentoring me for 10 years.
In addition to her supportive family, Saira brings another important key to this effort.
And I don't think if I had as strong as a faith that I did, that I would be able to see that I'm trying to do this for a greater purpose and to help all young people and the state of West Virginia.
It sure has helped her through the campaign process, but she's not the only one in this race who knows Jesus. In the fall, Saira will go up against Democrat Lane Deal.
My faith is very important to me. It has been since I was saved when I was 7 years old, and I remember that very, very clearly.
And Democrat Lane Deal sees a lot of positives coming from this contest against a teenage opponent.
It certainly doesn't bother me. I think that God can use anybody, to, you know, regardless of what their age is or what kind of experience that they have. I think my overall reaction was positive, because I do think that it's important to have young people involved in our political process and representing people within both, you know, statewide and throughout the country, because the future does belong to our next generation.
The future includes improving the economy, and that means jobs.
In the state of West Virginia, a lot of kids get their good public education here, and then we have a thing called the Promise Scholarship, which is a $19,000 scholarship to students for secondary education. And it's paid for by the state, and so a lot of students use that. And then once they're done with their high school and their college education, they leave the state because they can't find a good paying job.
And I think jobs is certainly critical to that, but not just any job. We need to have good paying jobs, because that's what the best and the brightest are going to, are filling, are good paying jobs. And I think the way to do that is we need to be able to diversify our industry base in West Virginia, so that we're not just relying on one or two industries.
While this race will touch those issues, it is much different than any other in the country.
I've received hundreds of emails from people across not just the country, but across the world. Just young people, people in their late 20s, and it's just amazing to hear their support and how they're excited to become involved.
All because of a 17-year-old who believes it's never too early to make a difference. David Brody, CBN News, in Martinsburg, West Virginia.